if you hold on to the board, no matter what your circumstances are, you know how the story ends. You know it ends well for you. If you hold on to your creator, the one that made you, that holds your eternity, right? It doesn't matter the circumstance you're in. It may not be fun,
right?
But you're going to get it. You know you're going to get out of it.
Well, hello, backcountry.church. I am so glad you're here. We are doing a conversation with Shawn Beaty. Did I say that right?
You did it. You nailed it.
I love it. Love it. And we are in Fresno, California.
Yeah.
Is this actual Fresno?
This is actually in Clovis. Across the street is Fresno.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. We're right on the border.
It's a beautiful place. If you watch the conversation with Marcus Zametti, also lives in this area. It's a great area. And Shawn, you are the senior pastor of
Clovis Hills Community Church.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I've been here 10 years.
That's...
Yeah.
Are you ready for your sabbatical?
I am actually. We're in a season right now, so yeah. Maybe next year.
Yeah, this is a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing. Well, look, we just backcountry.church it's a new church. It does not have a building.
Yeah.
But it can be the ecclesia, as you know.
Yeah.
The called out ones can gather, they can pray under the authority of backcountry.church. They can do it in a building, they can do it at a Starbucks, they can do it on a hiking trail.
Yeah.
Now, Shawn he's quite the jokester, but he loves the outdoors.
Yeah.
Now, oh, by the way, I forgot to say that you're married, you have 10 kids, no, he's got 3 kids.
Thank God. 3 is enough, trust me.
Your poor middle child.
Yeah.
Anyways, 1 girl, 2 boys. Who's the middle?
The girl is the middle child.
Oh no!
So that makes her special, right?
Yes, of course.
So that's good.
Is she in counseling yet?
From the 2 boys, yeah, she's very tough.
I'm sure she
yeah.
is. Now, I saw. I follow you on Facebook. I follow you on Instagram.
And I am a backcountry church member too.
Let me ask you, I got so fascinated with, in August, you went to somewhere I go every year, and I'll do it until I physically can't do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where?
Well, we climbed Half Dome.
Yes!
And I try and do it every year, too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's just like, because living in Fresno, we're only 2 hours away from the base of it.
Right.
So it's an easy drive, and,
I had no idea. That is cool. So how many times have you climbed it? 2, 3?
That was my 4th, I think. Yeah.
I climbed it for the 4th time this year, too.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
Seriously.
Great minds think alike. So do ours.
Exactly. So tell me about it. Now, I noticed, I was cracking up. I think you climbed it at or around your anniversary.
Yeah, it was probably that week. I don't know if it was the day of.
Did your wife go up with you?
No, she didn't.
Okay, because I was thinking Half Dome, life insurance,
I am worth more dead for sure.
Exactly. So, okay, who did you climb it with?
Well, there was a young lady in the church, and she got a permit, and she had never done it. She had three spots, 3 permits.
Awesome.
So she's in a growth group with our worship minister, and our worship minister, she lives across the street from us. She's like, hey, we've never done Half Dome, and you have. Would you climb it with us? I was like,
no way.
You bet. Let's go. Let's do it.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So tell us about it.
Yeah, for sure. It was we were worried because there I think it was a mosquito fire. One of the fires was going on at that time.
Right.
So they closed the south gate.
Oh.
So to get there, we had to drive
to 140.
Yeah, to the I forget what gate that is.
It's a long ways.
Yeah. So it was a good 4 hours to the floor. And we were just doing a day, like no camping. We just did it in a day. So we woke up at 3, got on the road by like 3:45, got, found somewhere to eat along the way, got to Half Dome, hiked it. I got home at 11 that night. I was dead. I was so tired.
Do you keep track of your steps?
I do. I don't remember how many steps.
Okay.
It ended up being 17 miles, though. I knew that.
Yeah.
That was kind of
It's a long way.
from the car to the.
Now, which is tougher, subdome or half dome?
That's a good question. I think because most of the times I've done half dome, it's all in one day, and I drive back.
Okay.
That's feels tougher on me. If that makes
Right,
sense.
right. So subdome is what you climb just prior to the half dome incline where the steel cables are.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I ever told you, but the first time I went up half dome, I did it by myself. I had 55,000 steps. It was my 55th birthday.
Oh, nice.
And anyway, so when I got 3/4 of the way up the cables, my thighs locked. Now I had been exercising. I was the only time I've ever gone to a gym. It's like, what's going on? And somebody asked me, have you been drinking water? That is not the time and place.
Stuck on
When
a
I
mountain.
have people below me and above me, and I'm like, I need to stretch my legs. So anyways, made it up. So you've done it before.
Yeah, I had, in 21 I did it, and I had a friend that told me, the cables go down on October 15th,
Right.
and you don't need a permit anymore to climb it. He said, yeah, just get a climbing harness and a
that's all.
carabiner, and then we'll climb it. Well, you just hook onto the cable because it's still hooked to the rock, but it's on the ground. You just kind of climb up Batman style with the rope between your legs. I was like, all right, we'll do it. So we're walking there, we're hiking there.
And it's not rope, it's a steel cable.
Yeah, it's a steel cable.
That's heavy.
Yeah. So you still want to use gloves and all
Sure.
that. So we, I hear these two like young girls like behind us hiking. And they're like, oh my gosh. And they're talking about guys. And they seem like college girls,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, brother. Like, you're ruining my peace. Like, it's quiet. I'm enjoying this. And I have to listen to their stories about parties and guys.
Oh, God.
Right? And I'm like, ugh. So, like, we stop and I'm filling up my water canteen at the little Yosemite Valley. And they walk up to us. They're like, do you guys know where half dome is? and like, mind you, like, I'm totally judging them.
Sure.
And so we're like, yeah, they're like, will you guys show us? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, you can walk with us. So we start walking with them. And, in my mind, I'm judging them like, oh, these dumb college girls.
Sure, right.
You know what I mean? Well, it ends up, they were not dumb college girls. They had graduated from Stanford. One was a med student at Yale. and the other worked for like Berkshire Hathaway.
Oh, gosh.
They were not dumb whatsoever. But they were just like, they travel a lot and they're adventurers. So we got there and they're like, we're going to climb it. And I'm like, you guys don't have anything. They just had like Lululemon on. That's it. And a water bottle.
Oh my God.
And they were like, no, we can do it. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You need a harness. You need something. They're like, no, we're going to do it. And I go, and my partner actually goes, well, Shawn's got rope. Can we at least make you a harness?
Wow.
Because they were like, okay, so he fashions them a little rope harness so they can clip to the cable and go up. But then they don't have gloves. They don't have anything.
Right.
So, that day I had brought, I had a small roll of duct tape in my backpack. So we made them gloves out of paper towels and duct tape.
Oh my gosh.
And then we're about halfway up and they're both just start dropping 4-letter words because they're scared to death.
Yes. I mean, it's like this.
Yeah. So we had to help them get up, but they got up. And then, they, we went down and that was scary too for them.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness.
But they made it down. We get to the bottom
crazy.
and, like at that time I was 49 years old. I'm 50 now.
Yeah.
And they're like, thank you so much. We're going to run back. And they jogged 8 miles back, like, to be young again, right? So then, like, when I got to my car, they had left a 6-pack of beer on my car.
Oh, that's sweet.
Which was really nice.
That's
like,
so funny. Oh my goodness.
To be young.
Yeah, no kidding.
And dumb, I guess. Young, dumb, and intelligent.
That's pretty incredible. The first time I did Half Dome, when I got back to my tent, I just collapsed. Then I tried to walk over to the food area, Curry Village there.
Uh-huh.
2 people stopped me and they said, "Are you okay?"
You probably look like Walking Dead. Like,
Oh, totally.
Dirty.
Now before,
limping.
so you went on that trip. It was your anniversary weekend. By the way, can people follow you on Instagram?
Yeah. Shawn Beaty on Instagram.
All
ShawnBeaty.
And we'll put that on the screen there. You can follow him there on Facebook. And at the church here.
Yeah, Clovis Hills has a great online presence. You can find us on YouTube.
Yep.
All that.
Excellent. Now, before I forget, you're a surfer.
Yes.
My first surfing conversation.
Oh,
with.
yeah.
I love it. Tell me about it.
Well, I grew up in...
I know nothing about surfing.
Oh, yeah. I grew up in San Diego.
Okay.
And moved here to Fresno 10 years ago. So that's just been part of my life. My whole life is surfing and skateboarding.
So you started when you were young?
Sports. Yeah. I started on the boogie board and and learned to do that. And sometime around junior high school, started getting more serious about it. And then when probably my freshman, really through college, like my freshman year of college, I really stopped playing all other sports.
Oh,
and I did that. I probably surfed more than I studied, to be honest. And then I went to Point Loma Nazarene College, and the waves are amazing there. So I really surfed more than I studied there too.
That's cool.
So yeah, I got a lot of surfing in from about 20 to 25.
Wow.
And then I had to become a novice surfer and just do that.
Catching waves, as they say. Or,
yeah.
Like, what's the lingo, and how do you do it? How do you know, what wave to catch and what not to catch?
Yeah. So one, you have to get those hours in to where you can look at a wave, and it's a lot of trial and error, right?
Yeah, sure.
You drop in on a wave that is completely closing out, and there's no curl to it, there's no lip to it. It tosses you and slams you and tumbles you.
Wow.
And you do that enough times, you start to know what ones are doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's a lot of trial and error.
Right.
If you have someone that knows surfing, they can kind of teach it to you.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So growing up, we didn't have the internet. It was, reading surfer magazines,
Right.
watching surf videos, and you would pick up guys' lingo on what was a good wave and what wasn't, if that makes sense. But there's a lot of it's trial and error because it's a feeling as well, too.
Right.
You feel when the wave has given you perpetual motion so you can stand up.
Right.
If that makes sense. And it's not like something you can fully explain to someone. You have to feel it.
Right. What lessons, maybe life lessons, biblical lessons, did you learn from surfing?
Yeah. So the board, right? You watch a lot of tourists, like they'll take a boogie board out into the water, they'll get caught in a rip current and it'll carry them out.
Right.
And they're swimming against it, they're swimming against the current, and it's carrying them out. And then they think like, well, it must be the board that's keeping me from getting in.
Oh.
And the first thing they always do is they ditch their board.
Wow.
And that's when the lifeguard has to rescue them, or they could drown.
Right.
Because they're not going to get in. They don't understand how the current works or where. And that board is as long as you hold on to that thing,
you'll be okay.
You'll be okay. It'll suck you out.
Right.
And then you're never going under if you're on that board. Right. And even in big waves, like, you do a thing called duck diving. So if the wave is coming, you push the nose of your board under the water, and then you push with your feet like that.
Oh,
so you miss the wave, right?
Okay.
If you have a larger board, you roll your board over,
right,
and the wave goes over it. But as long as you're holding on to that board,
right,
like, you're not gonna sink.
So what's the lesson?
Well, I always look at that is faith. Is in my faith walk, the times I've just in my life actually.
Yeah.
Not a faith walk actually. In life, the board is my relationship with Jesus Christ. And the times I've ditched the board and tried to do it my way, is when I've really gotten my life in the most trouble.
The rip current kind of sucks you under.
Yeah, the world sucks me out, takes me out, sucks me under, saps my strength, saps my joy, saps my peace.
Right.
All of that. In the same way, if you hold on to the board, no matter what your circumstances are, you know how the story ends. You know it ends well for you. If you hold on to your creator, the one that made you, that holds your eternity, right? It doesn't matter the circumstance you're in. It may not be fun,
right,
but you're going to get it. You know you're going to get out of it, if that makes sense. But if you don't have the creator, the one that floats you, the one that sustains you, then you don't know, right? You're just kind of, well, we'll see.
Right. Well, in our world situation right now, so you have the U.S., a lot of anarchy right now. There's obviously the recession or inflation.
Sure.
There's the war in Ukraine, and there's a lot of noise there. There's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, the number one search when people find backcountry.church, believe it or not, has nothing to do with what we do, or hasn't been. And is it the end times, book of Revelation? It's, there's probably 40 different ways people search, like, is the end here?
Yeah.
It's the rip current.
Yeah.
And it's hang on to the board. And we may not understand the board.
Yeah.
We may not agree with the board.
Yeah, where it's taken us. Yeah.
But hang on to the board.
Yeah.
Which is why backcountry.church does what it does, while Clovis does what it does.
Yeah.
Right? It's super important to hang on and then be in a community. Now, backcountry.church, our mission is helping people connect with God, others, and themselves through the enjoyment of nature. Yeah, but pretty simple, pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. How do you, when you're on Half Dome, when you're surfing or going for walks, whatever?
Sure, hiking, backpacking.
Sure. How do you connect with either maybe yourself or others or God?
Yeah. So right now I'm trying to piece out the John Muir Trail.
Oh, okay.
211.
Yeah.
Which,
just do it.
I know. I wish I had
just
the time.
did it this year.
I wish I had the time.
Here, I'll give you my watch, and you can have the time.
There you go. I know. I got to take the time. That's really what's got to happen, right? So, but in doing that, I usually hike with a buddy.
Yeah.
And we both hike at a different pace. Right. He's a little. We always joke he's the mule and I'm the goat. Like, I'm really fast. I just like to get there, kind of thing. I don't like to rest or anything like that. So I love that part of it though, because I'm by myself.
Yes.
And I have a lot of time to think about my life and what matters in my life and what matters when I get home. And
just getting the noise out.
Oh, for sure. That's just a great detox that I think everyone should have. Yeah. But then I also, because you're alone so much, you're not alone. Right? I pray. Yeah. And sometimes I'll pray out loud. That way I don't get distracted. And I'm by myself, so who cares?
Right.
And if a person's coming along on the trail, I'll quiet down because I don't want to weird them out seeing some guy talking to himself.
This guy's talking to himself.
Yeah. They can go to downtown Fresno to see those guys.
He's talking to himself fervently.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just talk to God, and then there's other times where I might be waiting for my partner to be coming, and I just sit in silence. Right, and it says in the book of Isaiah 15:30, it says in your stillness, your quietness, and your repentance, you'll find me. And I've had incredibly spiritual moments in a church building.
Yep.
Now, I love the idea of backcountry church because the people are the church.
Yeah. Where
we're at now is a building where the church gathers, right? But I've had incredibly powerful spiritual moments in buildings when the church is gathering.
Yep.
But I've had equally but different and powerful moments just being in nature with God. And I think you need both. You need that larger community. Yep. Right? Yep. And that can create a sense of awe and wonder and power. But then sometimes just staring at a 50,000-year-old gorge. Right.
Right.
creates a whole nother sense of awe, power, and wonder that that you know there's a God and you're so small, but somehow He knows your name.
And there's some kind of I don't know how to describe it, but there's a refreshment that comes over you in those moments.
Yeah, 100%.
Like there's, not to be mystical, but it's this energy. It's like, it's almost like a Coke on a 110-degree day.
It is. It's what my soul needed.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it.
Right.
And that's what I found being outdoors. Like whether I was sitting outside in the lineup on a board, and the waves were bad, and I was just out with some buddies, like just being in nature. Because to be honest, we are nature.
Yes, we are.
I believe we're like the highest created order of nature on this planet.
Most of us are.
Yeah. It's true.
Not all.
It's true. We've, because of technology, we've found great ways to remove ourselves from it.
Right.
And I think our soul misses it.
Yes.
Is really what's going on.
Right.
Our soul misses a lot of things. I think many people's soul miss connection with God, and they don't know it.
Right.
I had a woman once, and she came to see me after church, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, what? And she goes, every time I come here, I start crying, and I don't even believe in God. Why am I crying? And I said, oh, well, that's easy. Your soul knows there's a God, and it feels it when it comes here. And your brain hasn't caught up to that yet.
Right. Mm.
And if you'll stick around long enough, I think your brain will catch up to where your soul already knows.
Yep.
And it's feeling God's love. It's
why there's tens of millions of Americans out in nature every week.
Yeah.
And some will believe in God. Some will look at it and are just awed, and their soul knows that there's a God. Romans 1 talks about that, verse 20, that God's fingerprints all over creation.
Yeah.
It is His, billboard. I'm here.
And that's why we get that.
Yes. Well, that's why at Backcountry, all we want to do is introduce people to the one that made it. That's all.
Yeah.
And you can do that while you're backpacking or whatever.
Well, then you actually, that very thing, whether you believe in God or not, you get that sense of awe being somewhere like that, outdoors, in the mountains, in the backcountry, wherever it is. Right. But then when you know the one who created it, it's in a personal way,
it's a different experience.
It's indescribable.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where the helping people connect with God, others, and themselves. Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard for people to connect with God when they don't like themselves.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's impossible for people to love other people when they don't love themselves. Now, the flip side of that is people can love themselves in a narcissistic way. Mm-hmm. And that's where our society has tended to, without making the connection of, you're here for a short time, then there is a God, and we are here to serve others. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Now, we have a feature at backcountry.church. I haven't told you about this.
Okay.
Called Where to Next. I need like music when I say that. Like, where to next?
Yes.
Like, where do you want to go in the world, in the U.S., out in nature, just getting out, like something you've looked forward to. Maybe you've never been, maybe you have.
Yeah.
Whatever. Where to next?
Where I'd like to go next.
Yes.
Gosh. Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland. I went when I was 18, and it was one of the more incredible places I've ever seen. But I was 18, so I was like looking for girls and where's McDonald's, and like I wasn't able to soak in what it really was. And I remember I went online recently because I remembered it.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to see this place. And I'm looking at these pictures online, and I'm like, I can't believe I was there. And I'm an idiot. I got to get back there and soak it in.
That is cool.
It's right there in the Alps. It's this little valley where everyone camps. And there's this beautiful river running down the middle of the valley from a glacier. about 20 miles out. You can see it.
Oh,
it
serious?
It melts year long, and it's just stunning. So yeah, I got to get back to Lauterbrunnen.
I love it.
My wife and I are going to figure out how to get there.
Sweet. I love it. All right, and then you're going to Israel later this year.
That's right. Yeah, I'll be in Israel
You going to do any
December.
hikes?
I can't because I'm leading a group,
Oh, okay.
so I'm
Yeah,
always
yeah.
with them. I wish we will. We'll walk a lot, and we'll be in the wilderness a bit. We'll go out into in Getty, which is where David was hiding in the wilderness when Saul and Samuel, Book of Samuel, is chasing him. So we'll go to there, and we'll go. There's a hike up to the cave.
Nice.
Where David cuts off the corner of Saul's robe. Like they're pretty sure that's the cave. It's pretty cool.
That's amazing. Well, make sure you take a video, post it.
Oh yeah, I'll tag Backcountry.
Tag Backcountry. We want to see it, and that's in a few months.
Yeah, that'll be in December.
I love it.
It'll be good.
Good. Well, look, we have so much more to talk about. My goodness, so many more places you've been hanging out. Backcountry.church. You are incredible. I'm so glad that you've joined us for this time. And again, I'm going to put the name of the church here on the screen. If you want to check them out, feel free. We're going to put your Instagram, Facebook, or no?
Yeah, I have Facebook.
Okay, we'll put that there. People can follow you. Yep. I love it. And anything else?
Man, just enjoy the outdoors and go be the church. You are the church. You're the body of Christ. So let's be the church and let's do it outdoors.
I love it. If you haven't downloaded our app, go to Google Play or the Apple App Store, download it, fully engage, get into one of our groups. God bless. We'll see you next time.